Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are learning 40 objects of meditation. Look at page number 337. 337, paragraph number 10. So we talk about one perception. One perception. So one perception is a perception of the loathsomeness in food. āhāre, paṭikūlasaññā. So it is described as one of the several meditation methods that use perceptions, such as perception of the form or an attractiveness of the body, and perception of death, perception of impermanence, etc. So actually in the suttas, the Buddha used the word perception or saññā. So we must have a perception of impermanence and also perception of death. So in Abhidhamma Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said that if someone practices 10 types of perception, actually here in Visuddhimagga, especially Visuddhimagga and commentaries, perception is mentioned only one. Perception meditation is mentioned only this one. But in the suttas, the Buddha said more than 10. If someone practices 10 types of perception, then one will attain Nibbana, and one will have a detachment, or detachment from the body. So even though the suttas mention like this, commentary literature, or especially Visuddhimagga, so keep only this one, the perception of the loathsomeness of the body, the food, as a one perception. The perception of the loathsomeness in the food is arise through reflection upon repulsive aspect of nutriment. Repulsive aspect of nutriment. As we all know, that it's very difficult, The food is the sources of attachment. Everybody like a good food. We like the good food. It's the sources of attachment. Actually, the Buddha recommend this type of meditation to the monks, especially because the monks have to go strong and have to rely on devotees. And regarding with the food, actually in one sutta, you may remember, in one sutta in Nikaya, the Buddha said that to one family, father and mother and their beloved son, traveling in the desert, very hot, no food, they were limited food. The food ran out on the halfway. If there's no food, they will die. They all will die. So father and mother decided to eat their own son, the flesh of their own son. Then they dry the flesh of their own son and they eat it for the survival. Whenever they eat the food There's no attachment, no craving. They will eat the flesh of their own son, crying. Just like that, the Buddha recommend. The Buddha is giving instruction to the monks. When we are eating food, we have to contemplate in the same way, same way. So when we are eating the food, no attachment. We are eating. Later, actually, in the Sutta, the Buddha gave the instructions, and I quote that Sutta. Maybe later I will talk to that. So when we are eating the food, but here, meditation, it's a type of meditation. It's more serious. So we have to perceive the loathsomeness in food. The food is no longer, enticing, no longer enjoying. Loathsome, it is a very repulsive. So in Visuddhimagga mentioned that 10 type of contemplation, how to practice this meditation. Actually, in the Suttas, it's not mentioned, specifically, just mentioned in general. We have to practice loathsomeness of the food. So just like the difficulty of searching for food. As a Buddhist monk, they have to go Pinapat. Very difficult, They have to walk even 1 hour, 2 hours like this. Difficult. But nowadays, not like this. Actually, it's not good, not to practice Pinapat. It is take it for granted for monks. Every food is put on the table. Not good. So we forget about the real practice taught by the Buddha. So difficult to get food. But when we are learning, we have to actually in Myanmar, in Thailand, especially, have to go Pinapat. So we have to. It takes about 2 hours. We have to go every day. So it reminds us, we have to rely on the devotees. If we do not go Pinapada, no food. It's difficult. Must be punctual. Of course, for those who are living in the rural area, more difficult. But nowadays, people are so generous that the monks do not go Pinapada. So they will bring food to the temple. So especially in Sri Lanka, traditional Pinapada almost died out. Because even the monks themselves think that going for Pinapada is not a good idea. Not a good idea. When I stayed in Colombo, one of the Burmese monks who only practiced Pinapada, one of the Burmese monks, and also one of the German monks, they go Pinapada. Devotees are willing to offer, they got a lot of food. They share with other monks. But local monks, some of the local monks, they don't like. So they think that they are destroying culture. Because the culture in Colombo, a big city, no Pinapada at all. People bring food to the temple. So we lost our purpose. Also, it happened in Myanmar also. Not, of course, not every places. In some monasteries, it happened. Not good. Actually, we have to go Pinapada. For that reason, some of the monasteries, especially in Thai tradition, they know the value of Pinapada. Even if in Singapore, in Malaysia, they still practice. It's important, especially for monks. Difficult such difficulty of searching for food, and the repulsiveness of using it. That means after using, it became, how to say, the waste, excretion. So we have to practice so many things. We have to contemplate so many things. So that is one of the meditation methods. Even though the Buddha said many perception meditations. So the commentary is very Visuddhimagga. When we say Visuddhimagga, don't think that this is the idea of Venerable Buddhaghosa. It's not just Venerable Buddhaghosa. Venerable Buddhaghosa is only the author who combine all the methods found in the Asian tradition. So, what I want to say is, this is one of the meditation methods. Even though the Buddha say a lot of perception meditation method, the commentators, they categorize, the perception of the loathsomeness in food as one perception. It is not pursued while eating, but is samatha practice to be undertaken while you are sitting down. You have to contemplate difficulty of your food. How after eating, after 2 or 3 hours, it became waste in our body. So then we have to search again. Then the food may be rotting. The food may be full of maggot, etc. If we put somewhere a lot of rat, etc. This is the loathsomeness. So the main purpose, actually, it is made for intelligent characters. Those who have intelligent characters. Not easy to contemplate loathsomeness in food. Only for those who are intelligent. And it is designed to lessen attachment to food. So the main purpose of this practice is to lessen our attachment to food. For that reason, we have so in one sutta, the Buddha talk about 4 types of food, right? One is nutriment, the food that we eat. So this is important. This is the source that craving may arise, easily arise. Another one is contact. If we contact, with the same object, then craving arises. Then volition is one of the food. Because of volition, then it may cause consciousness in the new existence. Another one is the consciousness itself. So these are 4 nutriments because these are important sources where craving may easily arise. So here, nutriment of the food, physical food that we eat, is can be practiced, as a meditation. It's not while we are eating, while you are sitting down, while you are lying down, you can contemplate the nature of food. According to Visuddhimagga, it leads to excess concentration, not jhana, because it needs a lot of things to think. Question? Okay. Question.
So, Bhante, this meditation method, we should not use it whilst we are eating food, only when we are sitting down doing some other meditation.
It doesn't mean we shouldn't. We can practice we can contemplate the nature of food while we are eating, but it is meant for special occasion that you can develop your concentration. While you are eating, and I will talk about what the Buddha said. Okay, questions?
Yeah. In contemplating food,
Yeah.
the loathsomeness of food, it is quite easy to veer into perceiving food as with dosa.
Sorry?
Okay.
We?
When we contemplate on the loathsomeness of food,
Yeah.
the purpose is to reduce greed.
Yeah, you're right.
When meditating like this, especially when we have to think about how loathsome
Yeah.
the food is, it is actually quite easy for dosa, hatred, to arise,
Oh, yeah.
which is contrary. So really, the whole idea is not to, the whole idea really is to reflect on the purpose and the nature of food, how it is used to sustain our body for practice.
Yeah.
Right? And not like, oh, this chicken, so this is very, very complex. I'm asking this question, more from a very practical point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last week I asked you a question, when I contemplated on the loathsomeness of the body. When I contemplated on the different stages of the decay of the body, I had dosa instead of
Dosa to your body.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking like, oh, because of you, I had to sit on there and I had to die. And then I went back home and I realized that was because I thought about it and realized that was because I was reflecting wrongly. I should have reflected on the nature of the body rather
just
than
nature. Just nature. Yeah.
Exactly.
Here also the nature of the food.
Yes.
If we are angry, that means you are diverse to, how to say it? What is it? Sidetrack, sidetrack to other directions, veer to other directions. The purpose, the purpose is to detach or to remove attachment to the food. But it's not at all that we shouldn't have it also. Just contemplate the nature. Yeah, that's the nature of the food.
It needs a lot of control, a lot of intelligence.
Yeah, a lot of intelligence and also a lot of concentration.
Right. On the purpose of this particular contemplation.
Must know the purpose. Yeah.
Right. Because all the meditation methods, those that have loathsomeness as the nature, whether it's asubha, the body, or loathsomeness of food, requires quite a strong degree of understanding. What you are doing.
You're right. Shouldn't have a anger, Actually, for that reason, is the root of unwholesome actions, either greed or hatred, like or dislike, If you do not know what happened, that's also delusion, Actually, it's three root, very important to understand. Okay, this one, why we are eating. So the Buddha very often reminded to the monks the purpose of eating food. So actually, when we are eating, before we eat the food, we have to reflect these process. So while we are young, my master, instruct, we have to sit down, After puja, we have to sit down, especially samanera. Actually, my master trained the samanera, young samanera. We have to sit down, and we have to use counting the beat, within beat. And we have to contemplate all these ones. For robe, for Vihara, for monasteries, for food, for medicine. So these are 4 requisites for the Buddhist monks. So when we are using these 4 requisites, and we have to reflect certain understanding, So this regarding with the food. The purpose of eating food, reflecting wisely, he used alms food means just food, neither for amusement, nor for intoxication, nor for the sake of physical beauty and attractiveness. So we are not eating food for amusement, to feel very happy, for intoxication, intoxicated in food, just like a drug. Some people like it certain food. Some people like it pork. Without pork, they cannot eat. Just like that. Some people like noodles, So even though it's difficult to get a noodle, they will still, demanding. I want it. Like this, intoxication. For the sake of physical beauty and attractiveness, you eat the food for physical beauty. No, you're not eating the food. It's not a purpose, not a purpose. But you eat the food only for endurance and continuance of this body. You want to sustain your body. For ending discomfort. So if you are hungry, you cannot practice. To end those comfort. And for assisting the holy life, so you eat the food, actually it's for monastics. Just for monastics. So you eat the food to assist holy life and holy practice. Considering thus I shall terminate all feelings without arousing new feelings. I shall be healthy, blameless, and shall live in comfort. That is the purpose, That's the purpose. So you're eating the food just to sustain your body and to continue to practice, that's all. So a few months ago, I happened to watch a movie. It's a small movie, not movie. It's a small video. I think it's a Soviet Union, one of the countries in Soviet Union. Maybe I think I forgot that country. So European, they are reciting these verses. Not these. These one in English. In Pali and also in English. In Pali and also in English. In the meditation retreat, before they eat, they are chanting. They are reciting. In Pali as well as in English. The reason is to know the purpose of eating food. So actually we are learning advanced teaching, advanced teachings. So we are different layer of, Buddhist teachings. If you are stealing the food of other people, no good, But if you are enjoying your food, perfectly all right, not a problem, not a problem. But when you are monastic, monks or nuns, if you are enjoying food, no good. But if the devotee invite, to their house or to restaurant, wherever, the monks can accept if he want. In Jivaka Sutta, in Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 51, I think. Sutta number 51. Because just to clear, it's very important for devotee like you. Because 2 years ago, one of my students, she's very kind. She is always, a very she always pinpoint some of the practice that may be wrong in a very kind and very, how to say, very polite manner. Very polite manner. She is not talking to me, but it look like reminding. It's good, actually. I like it. And she write that, Bhante, is it all right for Buddhist monk to accept invitation, lunch invitation, to eat in the food in the restaurant? Because I sometimes, if the devotee invite me, I go. So she know that. Then she write to me, is it all right for devotee to invite monks to eat, to offer lunch in the restaurants? And actually, I don't know whether I reply or not. But here I will reply. When that I reply, I don't know. I forgot what I wrote. But it depends. I think in Jivaka Sutta, in Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha said that if the devotee invite for the breakfast dana or lunch dana, if the monk wish, we can accept it. But while we are eating good food, there shouldn't be a desire. May it will be good if this devotee invite me again. Invite me again. You know? As a loba, that's loba. That's loba. So what I want to say is, it's all right to accept invitation, but shouldn't have greed, or attachment. Oh, I want to go to restaurant and eat good food. No, shouldn't be like this. But especially as you know, in Mangala Vihara, vegetarian food, it's good. No attachment. No? Normally, less attachment. It's all right to accept. But the Buddha also allowed. But the main purpose is craving, greed. So actually, if you read this sutta, actually in many places that we can find these lines, the Buddha gave the instruction to the monks, we eat the food just to sustain our body, that's all. So not for beauty, not for even for physical strength, So that is the purpose of eating food. But here, one perception, the perception of loathsomeness in food, that is a meditation. It can be practiced anytime, but Visuddhimagga will give the best time is a sitting meditation. While we are sitting, we can contemplate the loathsomeness in food, difficulty of food. It can be rotting away. It can be rotting. If we keep, it can be full of maggot, and the rat can come. It is enter with excrement, waste in our body. So this is a loathsomeness. So the main purpose is not to attach the food. That's all. So there are some monks who follow on strict practice. They will just go by the path. They will eat whatever food kept in the bowl, alms bowl, that's all. So one of the Burmese student monks, he practiced, even though he went to Sri Lanka. His friend have to, actually sometimes if he cannot go, his friend have to offer. He will eat the food that will offer into the alms bowl. So this is one of the practice. And also another practice is so the food will be mixed in the bowl. Eat whatever food in the bowl. That's one of the strict practice in Visuddhimagga. No, not Visuddhimagga, is taught by the Buddha. The man, if the man wish, can follow. It's not a linear rule. It's not a linear rule. It depends. It depends. Okay. So there's one perception. Do you have a question? Okay, no question. Let's go to this one. One analysis. One analysis. The one analysis is analysis of the four great elements. It is analysis of the body into four great elements. So we analyze our body into four great elements. The earth element, water element, air element, fire element. So these, our body consists of those four great elements. So by analyzing in that way, the concept of I and concept of mind, the concept of man or women will disappear. And the main purpose of this meditation practice is to remove the notion of individuality, the notion of passing. As you all know that in Buddhism there's no passing, there's no I, just mind and body. So in this meditation method, the body, especially the body, is analyzed into four great elements. So there's only four great elements, there's no I. The notion of I disappears. If somebody is talking to you, he or she is not talking to me, talking to four great elements. So in that way, if you are practicing in this meditation method, even though they are talking pleasant things or unpleasant things, it will not arouse anger or greed. Just here, just here. So actually, this is also a well-known meditation practice. Actually, when I think I will quote Paṭikūlasaññā first. And you will know the importance of this meditation practice. So sometimes, if you are practicing ānapanasati, breathing meditation, sometimes the breathing will be not clear. So you can change with this meditation method. But it needs a lot of concentration. You need a lot of concentration to practice this one. So this is from Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Just as through a skilled butcher or his apprentice had killed a cow and was seated at the crossroad with it cut up into pieces. So that means the butcher or his apprentice trying to kill the cow, and he would cut into pieces. This is head, this is a leg, this is a kidney, this is a flesh, this is skin, etc. They were put one by one, and will sit down, selling. When customer came, he would, this is head, this is a tongue, this is a skin, these are the bones, etc. Very clear to him. If he didn't cut into pieces, cannot say individually, individually. So here, this is a simile the Buddha gave. So too, if Bhikkhu reviews this same body, by way of element test. In this body, there are the earth element, and the water element, the fire element, and the air element. Actually, in Masatipatthana Sutta mentioned briefly. In Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 140, Dhātu-vipaṅka Sutta mentioned it created a little bit farther. In our body, we have a teeth, no? We have a hair, we have a bone. These are the element, solidity, solidity. So there are many parts that are solid in our body. So these are the element. Water element, just like a blood, just like our urine, these are water element. And air element, something that is in motion, that is motioning, that is in motion. So there are some air, in our body. So if you have a deeper level of concentration, you can see very clearly. You can see very clearly. So that is the nature of cold and heat. Cold and heat in our body. If we are concentrated enough, we can see it. We can see it. So in this way, you analyze your body into 4 great elements. This is the earth element, air element, and water element, etc. So if you analyze your body into 4 great elements, so there will be the notion of I will disappear, gradually disappear. You see it as a combination of 4 great elements. You see other people as a combination of 4 great elements. There's no point for attachment to come in. Wherever you see the body yourself, the body of other people, that you see as a compound of the 4 great elements. In that way, the notion of I, the notion of man or women disappear. Even the notion of children or son disappear. Very powerful method, very powerful method. And the Buddha also, gives this meditation method to Venerable Rahula, who has the attachment to his body. As you all know, actually I explained, right? When the Buddha is going by the path, he follow him and he see the body of the Buddha. Very beautiful, very handsome. Huh? So I also very handsome, just like him. It's like that. Attachment to his body, attachment to his father body appear. The Buddha knew it, So the Buddha gave this meditation method. Rahula Sutta. So this is a analysis of 4 great elements. When one analyze the body with respect to its element, when we realize that wherever part in your body is solid or hard or soft, it's the earth element. Wherever is cohesive or fluid, it's the water element. Wherever is flowing in your body, that is water element. Wherever is hot or cold in your body, it's called fire element. Wherever is emotion, it's the air element. So when the motion, the nature of motion is quite clear to you, then you notice there is motion, there is air element. When the nature of hard and solid is clear to you, obvious to you, then you just, this is the earth element. When cold and heat is clear to you, and then fire element. If something is flowing, then water element. So in that way, if you analyze your body into 4 great elements, so the notion of I, the notion of it passing, the notion of individuality disappear. If the notion of I disappear, no anger at all, even though people are rousing you, with their pleasant speeches, criticism or anything. You don't have the notion of I am. They are talking to me. The notion of I, that's a problem. That will make you a lot of problem. The notion of I, Okay, question? It's a powerful meditation method, No question, Okay, then we'll conclude with the immaterial jhana. Actually, we have learned immaterial jhanas, and then we don't need to talk about in details. So we have 4 immaterial jhanas. So these are among the 40 meditation method according to commentary. Immaterial, so arupa jhana, so they can be attained using formless meditation object, such as infinity of space. Space do not have a form. Infinity of consciousness. We use consciousness as a meditation object. It's not form. To attain Immaterial-sphere jhana, one have to practice meditation with one of the 9 kasina meditation method. Actually, we have learned 10 type of kasina meditation method. Among them, you can choose one of them, one of the 9. One meditation method cannot be applied, to attain immaterial jhana. That is space, space kasina meditation. The reason is, so if you want to attain immaterial jhana, you have to use space object to attain immaterial jhana. That is one of the goal, one of the entrance, I will say that entrance. So you don't need to, you cannot use this space kasina. But to attain that, you need to practice the rest of the 9. So Immaterial-sphere jhana are the 5th jhana according to Abhidhamma, because they are together with equanimity and one-pointedness, 2 jhana factors. So actually we have learned in the 1st chapter, and then you can go and listen. Actually I'm not talking in detail. Actually, briefly I will quote the sutta. The first immaterial jhana is the base of the infinity of space. You use the base of infinity of space as a meditation object. So it needs a lot of tremendous concentrations. It needs 4th jhana, 5th jhana concentrations according to Abhidhamma. 4th jhana concentration according to the sutras. Only after the 4th jhana or 5th jhana you can go to immaterial jhana, because it needs a lot of concentrations. You use infinite space as a meditation object. So the Buddha said in one of the sutta, for one who has attained the base of the infinity of space, the perception of form has ceased. So we have a lot of craving because of form, something we see. something we hear, something we eat. So these are the form. So they are a very, strong object that create a lot of craving. But when you attain, the first immaterial jhana, all the perception of form disappear. When you practice paṭikūlasaññā, when your concentration getting deeper, you will see, a circle light, a shining circle light. So actually that is not a real rupa. It is created by the mind. It's not a real form, It's not a real form. It is a replica of a form or rupa. Even that way, if some people will have an attachment to those to that kasina object, some people they will use that kasina object for their meditation. They have a jhana place, They were attached to those, shining bright circle. But when you want to attain immaterial jhana, you have to overcome even that way, You have to overcome even that way. You have to try to enlarge, infinite space. In that way, craving toward that infinite space disappear. Only then you attain the first immaterial jhana. So for that reason, the Buddha said that when somebody attains the first immaterial jhana, the perception of form has ceased. Normally we give example of when you go in the middle of the town, in the town center, you will see a lot of things, pleasant or unpleasant. Pleasant, greed. Unpleasant, hatred. There are a lot of things, to crave. Then suddenly you disappointed, stay in the city center, and you go out and you see great ocean, But you still see some of the shit, right? Ship. What is it? Ship, a lot of ship. It still create a lot of craving or like or dislike. Then you move to seaside that you do not see anything, just water. Nothing, just ocean. But there's no attachment, less attachment. Less likes and dislike. Just like that. When you attain immaterial jhana, the perception of form disappears. Everything space, became blank. So no attachment. The perception of form has ceased. So if your mind overcome perception of form, then less attachment. Likely to have an attachment. Then the Buddha said in another sutta, with the complete surmounting of perception of forms. So form can be anything, something that you see, something that you hear, the food, the smell, sensory touch. These can be the form, form. So the complete surmounting of perception of form, with the passing away of perception of sensory impingement. There's no impingement. So here, impingement means when you have an eye, there is the impingement, the eye and the form. That impingement came. The sound and ear impingement. When you attain the first immaterial jhana, you are so concentrated, your mind is so absorbed that no sensory impingement. Totally shut down. 5 sensory doors totally shut down. Shut down. with the passing away of perception of sensory impingement, with the non-intention to perception of diversity. There's no attention. Your mind is not going anywhere. No, not going anywhere. Perceiving. Space is infinite. Space is infinite. Then you try to enlarge your kasina sake, right? Nasake. Then space became infinite. If the space is very small, then that small sake will create, certain attachment to that sake, shining sake. Some people may practice, this is shining. But if your meditation is not going well, that shining sake will, will not brighten, It became, diluted or diluted. Then create anger, create anger. If you think that shining sake is brightening, you feel very happy. That sake, small sake, create craving in your mind. But when you can create with your mind, infinite sake, infinite space, no place to attach. Your mind is very wide. You will not see any place that create craving. Infinite, the space is infinite. The space is infinite. The bhikkhu enters and dwells in the base of the infinity of space. So that means take the first immaterial jhana. In second immaterial jhana, the base of infinity of consciousness. So in the first immaterial jhana, your mind, your object of meditation is infinite space, not your mind. But now, meditation object change to the mind. You look at inside. Your mind is looking at, infinite space. Your mind is very vast, very big. Even infinite space, your mind can perceive. So your mind also infinite. So the base of infinite consciousness. For one who has attained the base of the infinity of consciousness, the perception pertaining to the base of infinity of space has ceased. So when your mind is still if your mind cannot overcome the concept of infinite space, you cannot attain second jhana. Only you can overcome, totally overcome. So the notion of the perception of infinite space, then your mind tend to the notion of infinite consciousness. That consciousness that can see infinite space. Then only you attain second jhana. These are very deeper level, hard to understand with the normal mind. Because to see infinite space, you need a lot of mind. Without a deeper level of concentration, the mind cannot sustain, hold that meditation object. Here, even finer, infinite consciousness. So at that moment, the mind or consciousness is looking at infinite space. Your mind also infinite. Then you look at your mind. Then you forget about infinite space. Then the whole mind, your entire mind absorbed into the notion of infinite consciousness. Then you attain second immaterial jhana. By completely surmounting the base of infinity of space, that is the first jhana, perceiving consciousness is infinite. Consciousness is infinite. He enters and dwells in the base of infinity of consciousness. So that is the second immaterial jhana. Third immaterial jhana, the base of nothingness, ākāññā yatana, the base of nothingness. For one who has attained the base of nothingness, the perception pertaining to the base of infinity of consciousness cease. But now, in the second jhana, your meditation object is infinite consciousness. So you look at your consciousness as the infinite consciousness. Your mind is not going anywhere. There is no perception of space as well. The perception of thinking of infinite space disappear. Then, how to say that your meditation object is infinite consciousness. So when you want to go to the third jhana, third immaterial jhana, you have to change your meditation object. Meditation object. That is nothingness. But here, nothingness means when you attain second jhana, second immaterial jhana, there is no even traces of infinite space. When you attain second immaterial jhana, your meditation object is infinite consciousness. Infinite consciousness. At that moment, there is no the notion of infinite space in your mind. It totally disappears. Nothing. Nothing. So nothing here means there's nothing, and there's no traces about the notion of space. The notion of space. When you attain second jhana, just infinite consciousness. But this level is very hard. I very often explain that. Even something that exists, difficult to take, difficult to hold. Breathing really exists. Even that one, not easy for us to hold. Breathing in and breathing out. Even something exists, difficult. But here, nothing, something do not exist. The mind can hold it as a meditation object. So the moment one attains second immaterial jhana, meditation object is infinite consciousness. At that moment, nothing or nothing traces of the first jhana. That is infinite space. So here, the object of the third immaterial jhana is nothingness. Nothingness means the moment you attain second immaterial jhana, there's no infinite space meditation object. Nothingness. Very deep. Very deep. Up to this level, you can practice vipassana. But next one, and the fourth immaterial jhana is so settled that you cannot practice vipassana meditation. The mind became settled, finer and finer. The base of nothingness, the Buddha said that by completely surmounting the base of infinity of consciousness. So actually, when you are contemplating, when you are in second immaterial jhana, your meditation is infinite consciousness. Your mind is full of the notion of infinite consciousness. Nothing else. But when you are, getting skillful, in the second immaterial jhana, you want to go farther. That's quite natural. When you are attending high school, then you want to go to university, University. When you are skillful in the high school level, you want to go to university. So when you finish your PhD degree, when you're skillful, then you want to go to master degree, right? Quite natural, quite natural. Here also, when you are developing meditation object or the infinity of consciousness, you are very skillful in that jhana, and you want to go farther, more deeper, more finer. That is nothingness, nothingness. So when you contemplate nothingness of the notion of infinity of space, when you attain second jhana, so your meditation object is nothingness of the first jhana. The first jhana. The commentary, Usarimaka gave a beautiful simile, beautiful example. So there is a meeting in this room. The monks. And one of the Kappiya, Kappiya, the one who is helping to the monks, came in and he saw a lot of monks. Then one of the chief monks told him to buy something. And he went out, he came back, the meeting finished. Nobody here. Then he understand, wow, nobody here. Earlier, a lot of monks, a lot of monks. Same thing. The moment you attain second immaterial jhana, you do not see anything, any traces of the first jhana. When you still have the notion of space, you cannot attain second jhana. Only your mind surmount the notion of form and space, then you attain second jhana. The second jhana level, there's nothing traces of the first jhana. So your mind, that is your meditation object. Nothingness, nothingness. So the guy who comes back from outside, see, nothing. Huh? Nothing. It's very powerful. I even joke that here in front of me, a lot of people, it can create lobha or dosa. If there's no one, and everybody go home, and I came back and see here, nothing, There's no one who make me greedy or who make me angry, angry. Nothingness of the object, There's no object that make me angry or that make me greedy. So, nothingness, is also very important. Perceiving there is nothing. Actually, when you see this one, not clear, only with the help of commentaries we understand. There's nothing. He enters and dwells in the base of nothingness. He enters and dwells in the base of nothingness. For that reason, immaterial jhana are samatha, samatha. They are not very good to practice vipassana. As you all know that the Buddha attained enlightenment through the fourth jhana. After he attained the fourth jhana, his mind is very clear, just like a polished mirror, very clear in his mind with the concentrations. Then he sees his previous life and the life of other people, how they go one life after another. So then he sees, karma theory. He sees impermanent nature. He sees suffering. Then enlightenment. He realized Four Noble Truths through four jhana. Four jhana here means 5 material for jhana, no? According to Abhidhamma, 5th jhana. So, but later, of course, the Buddha, actually these 4 immaterial jhana are useful when you want to, attain cessation attainment, when you want to achieve cessation attainment. Cessation attainment means everything cease. There's no mind, just physical body, Mind cease. Because if we have mind, we know how our body is, doing, If our body is sick, then we feel angry. If our body is very comfortable and also handsome, create lobha, greed. So if everything ceases, then very pleasant, it's very peaceful, blissful, happiness. So when you want to attain cessation attainment, you need to achieve the immaterial jhana. So only through the 4 immaterial jhana you can attain cessation attainment. Nirodha Samapatti. So the base of neither perception or non-perception. So the Buddha said that for one who has attained the base of neither perception or non-perception, perception pertaining to the base of nothingness has ceased. So here, you have to overcome one after another. If you overcome the notion of the perception of infinite space, then you attain second jhana. If you overcome infinite consciousness, then you attain second jhana. If you overcome the notion of nothingness, then you attain the 4th jhana. By completely surmounting the base of nothingness, perceiving this is peaceful, this is excellent. So here, this is me, the 3rd immaterial jhana. The 3rd immaterial jhana is peaceful and excellent. The reason is, even the one who attains the 3rd immaterial jhana can use nothing object as his meditation. Normally, every meditation will use something, something that exists as an object. But here, this one use meditation method, meditation object, an object of nothingness. For that reason, it's excellent and also peaceful. Then, by praising the 3rd immaterial jhana, the one attain the 4th immaterial jhana. The 4th immaterial jhana, very subtle one, is very need a lot of concentrations. I think you can go back to the first chapter. Then after that, I will work on question. Wait for a moment. He enters and dwells in the base of neither perception or non-perception. So this is the 4th immaterial jhana. Neither perception or non-perception. So your perception or your mind, your feeling, almost nothing. You think that there's no perception, there's no mind, there's no feeling in your mind. Almost there, almost nothing. So through this, the 4th immaterial jhana, and you can go to next step, cessation attainment, Nirodha Samapatti. So actually, only non-returner and arahant can achieve that one. because it needs a lot of tremendous concentration. So even Sotapanna, Sakadagami cannot get this level. Sorry, cessation attainment level. Okay, question. So deep that no question. Okay.
I'll just ask a simple question. I don't understand. Okay, but the whole purpose of the meditation on the four immaterial jhanas, is it to get rid or stop perception in the mind so that you stop perception so that you clear the rubbish in your mind and you prepare it for the mind becomes like a mirror and prepare so that you can see things as they really are. Because now it's very hard for us to see things because now it's a lot of rubbish. And the main rubbish is perception. So stages 1 to 4 for immaterial jhana, is it to clear the mind of perception, which is the rubbish? To put it very crudely, so that we can prepare the mind for insight.
Actually, it is not really the main purpose of immaterial jhana is to get serenity of the mind or calmness of the mind. I think for those who are meditating well, they are only want to meditate, only want to meditate because they know that the bliss of meditation, when the mind is very stable, calm, and they have a peaceful mind and blissful mind and rapture and joy in their mind. They don't want to do, even they don't want to walk. And I was invited for lunch dana by one of the Singaporeans, and he talked to me. He went to sell the house because he went to stay in the meditation center. He went to stay in the meditation center the whole life. Can you imagine? He will sell his house because he went to meditate. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know that case, but could it be that maybe he sells the house, but the money he keeps it himself? I'm not saying that man is, he's lying or whatever. I'm just saying that possibility. Because Singaporeans are practical people. I'm not doubting him. I'm just saying that some people, because people can say a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah, and he may sell the house, but the money from the house, it may still be in his name. And so.
No, what I want to actually, I can sense. Of course, I'm not 100% sure. I can sense that he has a deeper level of understanding. When I have a discussion with him, then I even suggested to go to a very competent meditation teacher because it's important for them to have a very good meditation master. Then the progress will be very fast. So actually what I want to say is jhana will make you happy in your practice. So especially in the, I will give you an example, in the Found Meditation Center, there are many foreign monks. Then I ask them, how long have you been here? Some monks, 6 years. Some monks, 7 years. You can imagine, they're still very young. One Korean monk, very handsome, maybe about 26, 27, and he cannot speak, maybe he can speak Burmese. So I met because I enrolled in the meditation center, and then he was making registration. Then I asked, how long have you been here? 6 years, 6 years. You can imagine, he can stay there. The food is not good, nothing to see. Without rapture or joy in the meditation, they cannot stay there, They cannot stay there. So what I want to say is, the purpose of immaterial jhana, very, very deep, very, very deep. Even you attain the first 5 material jhana, you still want to practice, Even you will forget about your job, if you can, if you can. Maybe there are many people who take a long holiday, to practice meditation. I think they may have achieved certain level, especially rapture or joy, So actually, samatha will make you, happy in your practice. As you all know, that among the 5 jhana factors in Abhidhamma, important one is piti, rapture. So when you have a rapture arises in your mind, you cannot help practicing meditation. Even though you're very busy, you stay practice, you stay practice. You'll find it, Recently I see a small documentary. So one of the Thai man, one of the Thai men, he practiced meditation 50 times a day. 50, He said that he can practice meditation anywhere, anywhere. While he is waiting for the food, he can practice. And while he is walking, he can practice. So he said that he practiced meditation for 50 times a day. Imagine, And then earlier he said that he is very, bad guy, drink alcohol, just like a gypsy, going, doing no same thing. So later he was ordained temporarily. He ordained for a while. Then he meditate, and he formed a joyful feeling in meditation. So what I want to say is the purpose of immaterial jhana, especially joy, the meditation. So here, someone who attained the 5 material jhana, keep on practice, very happy, No enjoyment, sensory desire, sensory things. So he's very afraid, even to think about sensory pleasure. Imagine, we can compare with our mind. So those who attain 5 material jhana were very happy. And actually, the 5th immaterial jhana, there's no rapture at all. Getting stable, equanimity and one point. Then those who have such a very stable, tranquil mind, there's no rubbish in the mind, no rubbish at all, no rubbish at all. Then want to go deeper, what will happen next? Then, if even the Buddha appear in the world, then some of the ascetics, some of the rishi, they attain those jhana. So what I want to say is the purpose of those jhana, the place of tranquility. The mind is so serene. They don't need anything, to get happiness in. For us, we need a lot of things to get happiness, We see movie, we eat good food, and we use beautiful clothes, It creates happiness. that happiness will not last long, will not last long. You eat, maybe just a few minutes, gone. So what I mean is, we need a lot of support, sensory pleasure. It creates happiness in our mind. But for them, they don't need anything, What they need is they sustain their body with the food, sit down many hours, Many hours they enjoy. That is the purpose. That's the purpose. But of course, during those immaterial jhana, there's no rubbish. So your mind is temporarily, pure and free from, free from defilements, But you still have, there's no attachment, There's no attachment at the time. There's no lust at the time. But you still have ignorance or delusion in your mind. Delusion means you find happiness and enjoyment in the material jhana. That is delusion, ignorance. Deeper level. Only vipassana can remove that defilement. That ignorance of delusion. So one of the sutta, the Buddha said that the purpose of samatha is, to abandon lust or attachment. So when you have a samatha, no attachment to sensual pleasures. When you are samatha, during samatha, your mind is tranquil and still, then there's no attachment to sensual pleasures. Then, when you practice vipassana, you have understanding or wisdom. So we practice vipassana for the sake of, the developing wisdom or understanding. If you have an understanding, a real understanding, so your mind is not disturbed by anything, whatever happens in your life, good or bad. If you have an understanding, there's no negative thinking. If you don't have an understanding, even everything is going well, you will still find something, to complain. Singaporean always complain. Even though they are, their life is very, compared to other countries, complete, clean, the food, very healthy. You get a very good salary. Everything, if people look at from outside, perfect, just like a paradise. But they still complain a lot. That is the nature of sensual pleasure, the nature of sensual pleasures. So, if you have an understanding, wisdom, even though you live in a very poor country, nothing, the food is very bad, the environment is very bad, if you have an understanding, no negative thinking. For that reason, understanding is important. Important than serenity. Okay, any question? So here, my answer is the purpose of immaterial jhana is a serenity, serenity of the mind. The mind is very happy at that moment. For that reason, when somebody attains immaterial jhana, so they can sit down for many hours. Many hours. When they die, they will become Brahma. Their lifespan, billions and billions and billions of years. Very long, with the power of the mind. Then, 5 kinds of mastery. 5 types of mastery. Actually, we have learned all these one, but you look at para number 80. Para number 80. Sorry that I didn't went to Patako 1 by 1. Patako 1 by 1. Para number 80, no? Para number 80. Mastery in adverting. This one also we already talked about it in the first chapter, but a little bit, shorter. Now I will, from this chapter, need to explain further. Para number 80. Mastery in adverting. Avajana vasi bhava. The ability to advert to the different jhana factors. Vitakka, vichara, etc. Quickly and easily, in accordance with one's own wish. Para number 80. So here, mastery in adverting, avajana means, when you attain the first jhana, you still have a vitakka, initial application. Your mind, vitakka, bring your mind to the meditation object. The vitakka bring the mind to the meditation object. If the mind go away, vitakka will bring again. Then, when you are skillful in the first jhana, so your mind is very quick, from vitakka to vichara. You can advert your mind, vitakka to vichara, etc. Skillfulness of the mind. So when you attain the first jhana, according to Abhidhamma, it lasts only 1 mind moment. Then you need to practice again. You have to practice with the 5 kinds of mastery. The first one is mastery in adverting. So you have to advert your mind from vitakka to vichara. Vitakka bring the mind to the meditation object. The vichara, sustain application, trying to sustain your mind in the meditation object. Then piti, rapture arises quickly. And also pleasure arises. And one point arises very quickly. That is the first skill. Mastery in adverting. And second one, mastery in attainment. So that is the ability to attain the jhana quickly and easily, without many bhavangas arising in the process of their attainment. In the first jhana, when you attain the first jhana for the first time, it lasts only 1 mind moment, then you practice again. It will take between the first jhana and second jhana, it will be a lot of bhavanga. Then you try to practice again, then less bhavanga, and practice again, less bhavanga. Then very quick, as soon as you sit down, then you attain jhana at once, less bhavanga. But when you are master, then there's no bhavanga at all. Jhana, continuously. So this is second mastery in attainment. The ability to attain the jhana quickly and easily, without many bhavanga arising in the process of their attainment. Second mastery. And the third one, mastery in resolution. That is the ability to remain in the jhana for a length or a time determined by one's prior resolution. If you want to attain jhana for 10 minutes, then you can sustain your mind to attain 10-minute jhana. Jhana in 10 minutes. 1 hour, 1 hour. 2 hours, 5 hours, etc. You determine your mind, I want to achieve jhana 1 hour. Then if you are skillful, 1 hour exactly. If you are not, and practice, train again. It needs a lot of training. Venerable Anuruddha is famous for this. He is always entering jhana, He's training his mind, jhana, and also training his mind with the higher knowledge, Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma means recollection his previous life, many lives, and also trying to hear the voice of the people who are very far, like this. Psychic power. So here, mastery in resolution, determination. So I want to enjoy the bliss of jhana for 1 hour. Then for the first time you will know. Trying again. And maybe 41 minutes. And trying again, it became 1 hour. So then you have to be skillful, to train your mind to get that skill. Mastery in resolution. Then number 4, mastery in emergence. So that means the ability to emerge from the jhana quickly. So if you train your mind, you don't need to set a alarm, alarm clock. Then I have to come out from the jhana this time. If you are skillful, then as soon as that time, then you emerge from the jhana. So this one also is skill. Suppose you have to go to your walk 8 o'clock. Then you meditate 7 o'clock. Then I have to 6 o'clock. Then I have to emerge from the jhana 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Then your meditation is very good. Then it exceeds 7 o'clock. Then you have to rest for your job. So your walk. So what I want to say is you have to train your mind. So to emerge, the time you win. So that is mastery in emergence. The next one is mastery in reviewing. The ability to review the jhana from which one has just emerged. So this one also needs a lot of intelligence, a lot of understanding. Then after you attaining the first jhana or second jhana, etc., you're trying to review what you have experienced during your jhana process. So that is also mastery. So when you attain the first jhana, so you have to master the first jhana using these 5 masteries. Using 5 kinds of masteries. So then you attain second jhana, then you have to practice. You cannot go to the third jhana directly. You have to master your second jhana with these 5 kinds. Then only you go to third jhana. Then you master your jhana again. Then only you go to the fourth jhana. You have to go in that way. When you want to attain the immaterial jhana, also you have to master 5 material jhana, the 5th 5 immaterial jhana. Then only you can go. And from the first immaterial jhana, you have to master it with the 5 kinds, then go to second jhana, like this. You have to go like this. In one of the sutta, the Buddha said that some monks, after attaining the first jhana, they want to go to second jhana right away, That they go, They trying to, they trying to achieve the second jhana. Then they couldn't attain, they couldn't achieve second jhana. They fall down from second jhana, giving a one simile. in Himalaya region. So there is one type of goat that can climb, the mountain. That can climb. It click, very clever. Deep cliff, a very deep cliff, and they can climb easily. But they have a lot of skill. But one of the cow see it, and I also want to do it. Climb and click, very on the deep click, then fall down. The Buddha said that some monks, they attain the first jhana, and they want to go right away, to the second jhana, and they fall down from even the first jhana. So what I want to say is they need to train the first jhana with the 5 kinds of mastery. Then only they can go up. Okay, any question? Okay, I think we'll go to we still have another three more week. Finish. I still hope you can put up with. Then after 3 weeks, finish. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your perseverance. Perseverance. Important. Okay. Attacha Bhogala